All right, let's talk about something that I think we can all agree can cause a fair bit of stress: Ofsted inspections. But what if we could look at it in a completely different way? Today, we're going to explore how we at Kent Business College are moving away from that last-minute panic and towards a culture of just showcasing the amazing impact we have day in, day out.
We've all been there, right? The notification lands in your inbox, and suddenly, the clock is ticking. For so many, that's the starting gun, the signal to kick off this huge task of getting everything in order.
But hang on a second. Let's just pause and ask a really important question here. What are we actually getting ready for? What does being Ofsted ready genuinely mean? Is it all about having immaculate files, or is it something much, much deeper than that?
Okay, so to get to the bottom of this, we first need to tackle a really common misconception, what I like to call the pre-inspection myth. It's all about that initial, almost gut reaction to getting the call.
Yep, that's the one. The first instinct is so often this frantic scramble, isn't it? A mad dash for documents, a rush to make sure every single file is pristine and every little box is ticked. It's a familiar story, turning the place upside down looking for paper perfection.
But here's the absolute crux of it. Is this what inspectors are actually interested in? I mean, really? Are they coming to audit our filing cabinets, or are they hoping to find evidence of something far more meaningful? And that question, well, it brings us right to the heart of our whole approach. It's about a fundamental shift in focus. It's about moving away from paperwork and towards impact. It's all about showing the real, tangible difference we make in our apprentices' lives every single day. This really breaks it down beautifully. On the left, that's the old way of thinking. So instead of being impressed by piles of paperwork, what Ofsted truly wants to see is the impact on learners. The actual difference we're making. And they're not looking for a few cherry-picked, isolated best examples. They want to see effective daily systems that are working for everyone. And this is the big one. It's not about that last-minute compliance scramble. It's about them seeing a living, breathing culture of improvement that's just part of who we are. This quote right here, this is our guiding principle. It's such a brilliant reminder that evidence isn't some separate thing we have to create for an inspection. No, it's the natural result of our great day-to-day work. It's like the footprint we leave behind when we're consistently doing the right things for our apprentices. So that sounds great in theory, but what does it actually look like in the real world? How do we follow the trace of our own good work? Let's look at how our normal, everyday activities naturally create the powerful evidence that tells our story. Okay, let's take a really common scenario. A coach is doing a routine progress review and, using our standard safeguarding prompts, identifies an apprentice who might be at risk. This isn't an extra job, it's just part of the normal process. A support plan is put together, actions are tracked on our dashboard, and later on, our case sampling process confirms the quality of that decision. And the evidence? Well, it's the apprentice's well-being and progress actually improving. The system worked, and the trace is crystal clear. And here's another one. Our data might flag a pattern of low-level concerns, all coming from apprentices at one particular employer. Now, instead of treating them as one-offs, we look at it as a systemic risk. Leadership gets involved, meets with the employer, and sets clear expectations. The impact? A safer environment and better apprentice retention. This is what a learning culture looks like in practice, using data to learn, adapt, and improve what we do. So you see, the evidence is literally everywhere. It's woven into the very fabric of how we operate. It's right there in our progress reviews where we check on welfare. It's in our observations, our apprentice surveys, and in the way we track and analyze data like attendance. These aren't inspection activities, they're just business as usual. So, we've got these fantastic systems humming along, generating all this natural evidence. But that's only half the job, isn't it? We also need to be able to talk about it confidently and clearly. This is where the professional dialogue comes into play. It's our chance to really explain the why behind what we do. So imagine an inspector asks you a question like this. It's designed to see if your policies are real, living things or just gathering dust on a shelf. How would you answer that? Now that is a really strong, evidence-based answer. You see how it points to a real system, our dashboard? It gives a specific example from case sampling, that's our own internal quality check, and it describes a concrete action that followed, targeted coaching. This proves our system isn't just for show, it's actively making us better. Okay, here's another great question, this time a bit more high level. It's about that strategic oversight.
How do you prove that the leadership team knows what's really happening on the ground?
And again, look at that confident response. It's completely grounded in our routine, it points to monthly reviews, and it shows how data is used to spot trends at an employer level. It even references that logistics firm from our earlier example and offers to show the plan and its impact. Now that is strategic oversight in action.
So as we start to bring this all together, the main message becomes incredibly clear. Real Ofsted readiness isn't a frantic race to a finish line. It's the calm consistency of a good daily routine.
So what does this actually look like in practice at Kent Business College? Well, it's our standard safeguarding prompts in every single review, it's our monthly case sampling to keep quality high, it's analyzing data for patterns, and it's our leadership team making decisions based on that data. These aren't things we do for an inspection, they're just how we run an effective and safe provision every day. And this is just so important to hold on to. Inspectors are incredibly skilled at seeing through anything that's been specially polished for their visit. They're there to understand what's typical, what your everyday reality is. And you know what? Authenticity and consistency are the things that really shine through.
And that's really the bottom line. Strong inspection evidence is never, ever created for an inspection. It's produced naturally through effective daily operations. When we focus on quality, on being honest with ourselves, and on genuine improvement, the evidence just takes care of itself. And that right there is the true path to readiness.